It's total 100% Scientology indoctrination for recruitment and money. Period.
Okay, so here I've got to ask this question because, folks, for those of you who experience migraines, now we're talking migraines, not headaches. I mean migraines. Migraines shut you down. You can't
Oh, I know.
even
Yeah.
breathing. Even when you breathe, it hurts. It feels like your head is about to explode. So,
Hmm.
David, I'm just putting
Okay.
I'm putting myself in
Okay.
someone's shoes. All right,
Okay.
because I just
I
can't
can
get past this.
I can
So,
answer it.
all right, so they have a severe migraine. They're going in a sauna. They're actually physically vomiting. I mean, it is so sick. And they tell them to go lie down, get
Yes.
back in the sauna, or do this touching of your body until you get sick of it.
Yeah. And they will not give you like a Tylenol 3 or pain medication like that. And here's an example. Okay, I wrote a press release on this. There was a lady there. Okay, she slipped on the ice because it was slippery, obviously, and she fractured her arm in 3 to 4 places. Okay, they took her to the hospital. The hospital could not set it. That she had to go to another hospital the next day. So the doctor prescribed, I think it was Tylenol 3. Okay, it was a strong pain medication or something else, and they also gave her some. And then they drove her back to Narconon. Okay, they would not give her one pain pill. I walked up to the table and sat there. I said, "Why are you crying?" She said, "David, I'm in so much pain, and they won't give me any of my pain medication." She suffered through the whole bloody night, okay, with no pain medication. She went to the hospital the next day and got her arm set. Then she came back, and finally, they gave her pain medication, Tylenol 3. But they stopped her program. She couldn't do the objective Scientology auditing, because you're not allowed to do the Scientology auditing when you're on codeine or any kind of medication
Well,
like that. It's absolutely ridiculous.
well, thank God. Maybe, hopefully, she went home after that
No, she didn't.
ridiculous.
No, she did not. She graduated the Narconon program on the same day I did.
Okay, so I've got to ask this question.
And she relapsed not long after getting out.
All right, here's the. If you're going through hell, if people are going through hell, if they're getting physically sick, if they're throwing up, if they're suffering from migraines, they're told to go back in the sauna and go lie down, which is the absolute asinine thing to say to anybody who suffers from migraines. Because lying down is not going to make the migraine magically go away. Because you can't sprinkle dust, fairy dust, and say, poof, it's gone. That is just so absurd. So I guess, why the hell would anybody want to continue that type of environment where someone tells them to go lie down when you have a migraine without medication?
I know. I know exactly what you're talking about. Don't forget, there's no nurses, there's no doctors, there's no medical professionals there.
Now, let me ask you.
There's just people that have been trained through Scientology courses how to deal with it.
There's 2 questions I want to ask. Number one, you mentioned Scientology courses. I got to ask you that question, but I want to ask you this question: were there any minors in Narconon? That's the first question, and the second question is the training that's provided to these people who are allegedly shoving these vitamins down people's throats and telling someone to go lie down who has a severe migraine. What training specifically do they have? So the first question, minors. Second question, the training.
Oh boy. Okay, I can touch on one minor. There was a minor there, a female, who did become pregnant. I can't go any further on what happened to her.
Okay.
There was other applications to come into Narconon. They were minors, and Narconon, after that incident with the other one, finally got it that they shouldn't bring minors in, and so but you know the money's there, so well they figured, okay, we can bring them in. The documents I looked at, if we have approval from Narconon Canada and Narconon International to give them some schooling and whatnot when they're there. But I mean, it's ridiculous. You're going to put minors in with adults, But no, when I was there was no minors there.
Okay, and the training for these people who are administering all these medicines or whatever.
The only training they get is through the Scientology courses they take, and then they printed off a certificate. I mean, I was printed off a certificate course. Took the courtroom supervisor's course. No, but there is a new law coming in Quebec that they're going to have to be certified, and they're going to have a psychiatrist. I mean, Scientology's biggest enemy are psychiatrists. and they have to have
Yeah.
a psychiatrist. They have to have a certain percentage of staff that have university degrees on how to deal, with a degree in substance abuse treatment. Is this going to happen? I doubt it. There's so many points that they have to come up with to get certification. I don't think they're going to get it. But, that's not a big deal to them. They could move to Ontario or another province. So we need to get a federal thing right across Canada, which we're working on, to shut them all down.
That is,
including the orgs, the
okay.
sauna and the orgs. We want the saunas and the orgs shut down.
We have a caller on the line, so let me just add this person to the conference. Area code 785, you're live on the air. Who's calling, please?
This is Joanne.
Hi, Joanne. How are you?
I'm doing good. Your conversation is amazing.
Yeah, we have a great guest on. We appreciate his time. We really do, and we appreciate you calling in. Do you have a question for Mr. Love?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I want to know how they get away with considering this a religion.
Okay.
I'm serious. I mean, it doesn't seem like it's spiritual. It seems like it's extremely money-driven, and the people are put through hell. So how is it that it is allowed to be considered a religion?
Well, because I guess the laws of the United States and Canada and many other countries, we have in our charter human rights and freedoms, the freedom of religion. Now, this goes back to when L. Ron Hubbard said, the idea is to make money, make more money, make people make more money. And he says the way to make a lot of money is to form a religion. Now, in the United States, basically, it looks like they wanted to get into the religion part of it to save taxes. Okay, but I agree with you 100%. It's totally money and power driven.
Wow.
I mean, Hubbard said, we have enough power right now. We're standing shoulder to shoulder. We could take over the world. It won't be the world that makes the laws. We will be the ones that makes the laws of the world.
That is, you know what? That is so.
Wow.
It's very sinister.
It sure.
Oh,
I mean, this is stuff that Hubbard wrote. These are facts.
Wow. Okay. You have any more?
You got to go back to the root, the genetics of where Scientology comes from. You got to remember he was associated with Parsons and Alice Crowley, and Crowley was the biggest proclaimed Satanist on earth.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Okay, and he looked at himself as the Beast 666, and Hubbard worked with him on trying to incarnate a baby. It comes back to Babylon, and when he was into black magic, and it's some pretty evil stuff. And when Crowley died, Hubbard, according to his son, he didn't worship the devil. He believed himself to be the beast himself. So he actually took over the cloak from Crowley.
All right.
So these
go ahead.
people, it says that the cops won't touch them or can't touch them because it would seem to me that they're breaking more laws on a daily basis than I do crossing the street if I'm jaywalking.
Good question.
I mean.
Well, we're in Australia. They're looking at taking away their charitable status, and we're working on the same path line here in Canada to take away their charitable status, the Narconons at least anyway. We're chipping away at it a little bit by a little bit, but they have a lot of influence, and the Office of Special Affairs where they infiltrate different government agencies and organizations, and they lobby. It's not an easy thing to do. In the United States, you've got different states. The only way to get them is if it's interstate, and you can get the FBI to investigate, like they are now for human trafficking. And I hope this goes somewhere, this human trafficking. If it does, which I hope it does, they're going to be facing big trouble there, too. They're facing a lot of trouble in Canada right now.
All right. Caller, thank you so much for calling. We appreciate you.
Thank you very much, James. Love your show.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
So that was a great call. Fantastic. We really appreciate taking the time and giving us really great questions. I tell you now, David, would you be willing to stay for about maybe 15, 20 more minutes?
Sure, I'm fine, yeah.
Fantastic, folks. So please don't go anywhere. Remember, on the 10 o'clock hour, we have a show called Just Roll With It.
Okay.
So just don't go anywhere. That show is up next at 10 o'clock. But we're not done. We're going to be right back because in a minute I'm going to ask David, has he met any, I don't know, celebrities, and does he have any inside information on perhaps their thoughts and their real views on Scientology? We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.